Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another Market Open stream. Today is the day before the big FOMC meeting. It's kind of the pre-day. And what should we expect? And why should we expect a huge Bitcoin reversal? Well, let's talk about these things and more. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome. We are starting out the day slightly above 90,000. Last night or yesterday afternoon, we were a little bit above, getting close to 93. Today, the U.S. market is also opening up slightly in the red, except Dow. But this is to be expected. Normally speaking, before a FOMC meeting, we do have volatility. Okay, for whatever reason, Wall Street is kind of afraid of what's going to come out of that press conference tomorrow. So today is following a usual pattern. Okay, but we know tomorrow we will get another big FOMC press conference with Powell, and he's going to announce there will be a rate cut, but everyone's worried about what he's going to say about 2026, even though he's on his way out. There will be, though, at least 3 FOMC meetings before he is shown the door. But right now, as it stands, we have close to a 90% chance for a rate cut tomorrow, which is good. Near term, this is good because set the tone for the remaining of this month. But what everyone wants to know is, well, what about January? Right now we're at 26% chance for a cut. Is that going to increase after tomorrow? And we're going to get more economic data too. That can definitely help drive that up. But right now, day before FOMC meeting, normally speaking, this always happens. We get some volatility because Wall Street's kind of afraid. And obviously, Trump wants the next Fed chair to do immediate rate cuts. Okay, and he's going to find someone like Hassan that is very, very pro cutting. Not just that, we can't just have a Fed chair that only just wants to cut. Obviously, they need to make changes, good changes all around, right? So that's coming next year. But until then, we just have to stick with Powell. We have no other choice. But that is coming tomorrow. What else? I saw this yesterday. Trump greenlights Nvidia's H200 AI chips to China if US gets 25%. This is pretty big for Nvidia. Aftermarket yesterday, they actually jumped up a lot. Right now, they're in the red. I don't know why. This allows them to sell some of the older chips, not the Blackwell chips, but it's still a big improvement. And this will allow them to start making a lot of money by selling to China, because right now they're not selling anything to China. And they're still having explosive quarterly results. So this also came out. Has nothing to do with crypto, but I do like Nvidia. All right, moving on. ETFs. Bitcoin ETF showed a slight outflow yesterday. BlackRock turned green, but Fidelity turned red and other turns red. Slight outflow, 60 million. Ethereum had a slight inflow of 35.5 million. No outflow, that's good. And Solana had a very, very tiny inflow of 1.2 million. So overall, still mixed. And like I said, Wall Street sometimes could be just as flip-floppy as retail. Sometimes you have inflow, sometimes you have outflow. We don't have consistent inflow, and luckily we don't have consistent outflow either, right? But right now it does seem like they haven't made up their mind. Should we be going all in? Are the reversal signs here? Well, some of them just, they basically flip-flop every day based on the current news or based on what everyone else is doing. They're following the herd. But there are some that are not following the herd. And those are the ones that are going to benefit the most moving forward. And here are some reasons why you should not follow the herd, because the fundamentals keep on getting better. Congress just introduced a new bill that makes it so that if you pay taxes in Bitcoin, there'll be no capital gains. Now, this is just a bill. It hasn't been approved yet, but this has been talked about for a while to remove capital gains tax on payments with Bitcoin. That will be huge. Okay. I don't expect anyone to like start buying coffees with Bitcoin, but imagine if you can buy real estate now, you could buy your next home or buy your next commercial property with Bitcoin, and you don't have to worry about the capital gains tax on those purchases. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely insane. So if this gets passed, I mean, I think it'll be huge. There could be other things, like maybe they set a limitation on how much or something per year. But if it's just like a blanket, you don't have to pay capital gains tax on purchases with Bitcoin, man, the sky's the limit. You could buy your next Lambo also with Bitcoin and not have to worry about paying taxes. It'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. But this is one of the things that's being worked on, right? Something else is this: CFTC just said that financial instruments like derivatives and others can use Bitcoin and ETH and USDC as collateral. And it's the same thing with several other things like mortgages, for example. You could use Bitcoin and crypto as collateral now. But this is also big. You know, little things like this may not cause a price jump immediately, but none of these things were around just even last cycle. Everything that's going on, the major shift, the 180 that we're seeing this cycle, we never seen before. And this is part of the growing fundamentals that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Here's Saylor talking at Bitcoin Mena about Bitcoin products and services and how he got approached by BNY Mellon and JP Morgan, Citibank, and all these banks. He got approached by all of them asking for his advice and opinion because they all are launching or about to launch Bitcoin products and services. Right? Again, part of the growing fundamentals that we never, ever, ever, ever had before in any previous cycle. So it's a little bit different this time. A little bit different. But what's not different is the people that are buying will continue to buy. Jack Mallers, one of the big names in the space, founder of Strike, now the CEO of 21 Capital, which is a Bitcoin treasury company. They just went public with 43,000 Bitcoin worth about $4 billion, but they're not done. They want to get that up to over 60 billion, right? So people that know, people in this space, they understand, will continue to keep loading up. But now with a company with major backing and shares, he's able to do that a lot more. And this is I think Tether is also involved with this company, and I don't know if there was some other big person that was part of it. But anyways, and then you still have the usual companies that are buying Bitcoin. Here's ANAP Holdings that bought another 54.51. Now they have 1,200 Bitcoin. Little, it's not little for us, but for a company like them, little DCA here and there, it adds up. 54 doesn't sound like a lot, but now they have 1,200, right? And this will continue forward with all the Bitcoin treasury companies and all the holding companies and ETFs and everything else, part of the growing fundamentals. Now, what about this Bitcoin reversal? Is it ever going to happen? Right? been a lot of talk about business cycle, how this year's business cycle has been vastly changed due to the elevated rates. And that may change starting with rate cuts like this one that we're going to get next week, or no, this week. I'm still living in the past. And the ones coming in 2026, right? That's what's causing an elongated cycle for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin follows the business cycle, basically how businesses are doing and how liquidity is flowing, right? But there's other things. Here's actually a capitulation oscillator that measures whether people are selling at a loss, how many people are selling a loss, right? And normally, that's not a good thing, right? But it's a good thing for us holders, because who are the ones selling? The short-term holders, the ones that don't believe, or maybe now Wall Street, the ones that flip-flop on a daily basis. But whenever you see the oscillator gets really high, when the capitulation with the short-term holders are really high, that's generally when you see a major turnaround. And we saw this at the bottoms, crypto bottoms, COVID bottom, the April bottom. We have seen periods like this before. So this is what's indicating a huge reversal is being built and will come. Right now, again, it's volatile. Nothing comes up in a straight line. There will always be dips and valleys and stopping points and stuff like that. But when you zoom out, you realize, okay, this is looking a lot like some of the times before when Bitcoin made its major move back to the upside and continued forward, right? And something else, this is what I used on a thumbnail. Simple stuff. This one is just RSI. We bounced off of this line, or basically the oversold level. The last few times that this happened was, guess what? The bottoms of crypto winters. Just take a second to think about that. We didn't see this, okay? We didn't see a point this oversold for Bitcoin since the bottom of 2022, when Bitcoin was at, 15,000. COVID, when Bitcoin fell to 3,400. The bottom of 2018, 2019, when Bitcoin hit 3,100. And the bottom of 2014, when Bitcoin hit $160. So again, when zoomed out and you're looking like this, it's pretty obvious what's coming next, right? And here's the last thing. Zoomed in. This is MACD, but this is something called institutional MACD. Never heard of it before, but similar. Golden Cross is about to be formed on the weekly. And the last few times this happened, back in April, back last year, back in 2023, we saw some huge gains afterwards, right? You don't have to be a chart reader to understand this. There's a lot of fear right now, a lot of capitulation, a lot of short-term holders selling because they just don't care or understand. But those that understand will see these moments as great buying opportunities, right? Because they have been through it before. They have been in this space for years and have seen much worse times. This is no different. It might be slightly elongated, this cycle, because of the business cycle, macro stuff, and geopolitical stuff. But overall, Bitcoin always finds a way to pick itself up and continue forward. And the fundamentals have never been better than what we're seeing right now. So you just got to put it together, guys. Outside of Bitcoin news, I only saw two things worth talking about. VeChain unveils this new consensus, which makes them changes them to delegated proof of stake, which is very similar to a lot of other L1s. Makes it a little bit more efficient. VeChain is also talking about they have 5.5 million users in their app that use VeChain. You know, they're partnered with UFC, which is awesome, but they, you know, they're really concentrating on like the better system, which is to, you know, to like clean up the environment and stuff like that. So that's where I think most of the users from. But hopefully they add more. They add more to their ecosystem. And then Polygon is aiming for a hard fork and a 33% throughput boost. Obviously, Ethereum went through a fork that is actually helping L2s, but Polygon's like, it's not really an L2 anymore. It's like an L1, L2, so it's their own thing. But hopefully this helps them scale a little bit better for what they want to do, which is to introduce more stable coins and RWA. You know, that's about it. Not a whole lot today, other than wait for the FOMC tomorrow. The good thing is we're starting to turn a little green. Normally speaking, before FOMC meeting, you do have a lot of volatility, meaning red. Robinhood is clinging into its green territory. Nvidia slightly red, should be green based on this headline on the front page. MicroStrategy is down slightly today. And I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how today turns out. All right. Let's do some Q&A. I don't know, like right now, my honest opinion is like, yeah, it seems like Bitcoin can't ever break out anymore, right? Everything is super stale. And it makes me feel or think about past times like, you know, last year. We were going through the same kind of thing. For like 7, 8 months, we kept trending along. And kind of, you could argue we went a little bit lower, but overall we went sideways for like 8 months. And then all of a sudden we broke out and we never looked back. And also reminds me of what happened earlier this year. From December to about April, we had just basically all bad news. Bitcoin could not move at all until it found a reversal point, and then we just kept going, right? I just feel like this feels very similar to those times. Obviously, we're much bigger than those times, but it feels very similar. You know, we're just going through one of those phases. It's almost like it's done on purpose. Just again, wealth is built by transferring assets from the impatient to the patient. I mean, this is really testing people's patience right now. And those that can't handle it are getting out. You can't really stop the manipulation other than just don't fall for it, you know? If you can recognize it, it's just like if you see like hustlers on the street with those card games or whatever, right? You might not be able to stop them from doing that and fooling others, but that doesn't mean you have to participate, right? And many don't. That's why there's still a vibrant crypto community, why there's so many people that still are on X, are tuned in here, people that are holding. Not everyone's falling for it. A lot of people are holding strong and DCAing. You could, even in Discord, a lot of people are in Discord chatting away, right? They may not like it. No one likes like a weak environment, but they're not falling for the traps either, right? So just, that's the best thing you could do. Unless you could become a multi-billionaire and then form your own cabal, and then you could act as a whale and move markets. That's always a possibility. Yeah, I mean, this year, this past 2 months, 3 months, we had a lot. That government shutdown certainly didn't help things. Powell's last FOMC press conference didn't help things, right? We had a war in the Middle East, didn't help things. The war ongoing in Europe, not helping things, right? Trade war with China, remember, the tariff situation, the escalation of tariffs didn't help things. We had so many things to overcome the last 3 months, right? And plus, yeah, the elevated rates not helping. So I mean, we went through a lot, a lot. If Bitcoin was, if we went through those things, and this was back in like, okay, I'm back. I don't know why my internet just cut out. I was gonna say, to finish my thought, um, yeah, this was back in 2021. If we had all those things simultaneously happen, Bitcoin probably, you know, would have fallen like way more, 50% plus within 3 months. I mean, we did. I mean, look at it. Bitcoin went from 64 down to 28. Like nothing. Based on, I don't even, like, I think all because the miners were forced to sell and move. But we recover from that. But if we had all the things that happened 3 months ago happen in 2021, that 28,000 would have fallen to more like 10,000. Um, but we're a lot more stable now, a lot more mature. But that doesn't mean Bitcoin is so big that it can't fall. But as we get bigger, as more holders come in, as more strong hands hold, it's going to be a lot less volatile in the future. But that's also, it's also negative because that means Bitcoin won't move as much as people want anymore, too. Well, the good thing is, look at Coinbase. You see that scam wick right there? Started out, market open, went down. Now it's actually in the green. That's actually very positive. Normally speaking, whatever Coinbase does in the morning is kind of a reflection of what Wall Street is going to do with Bitcoin. So if Coinbase continues to gain strength, that means you'll probably go see Bitcoin turn around today. And Robinhood is also in the green, which is good. Nvidia, having such good news, somehow is starting on the red, which doesn't make sense. But we'll see. The day is young. See, even with stocks, there's scam wicks. They're everywhere. It's not just with crypto. Have I played Diablo 4? Tons of crypto references. I have played Diablo 4. I played when it first came out. Played a little bit. I just don't have time for it. Now I just play Clash Royale. I play it more than my kids. My kids got kind of tired all the pay to play stuff because it's really hard to level without having now heroes. Everyone's using heroes. Leveling without evos, which everyone has, and then also now level 16s. It's hard for people that are not spending money. George, do you think Saylor is playing a dangerous game? He is, but he's much smarter than me, so I don't know. Maybe there's things that I don't know about in terms of how he set things up. But you know, at a top level, looking down, just from the outside, it does seem like he's betting big on the future, right? He's raising all this debt, and he's issued all these preferred shares that have huge dividends, basically because he feels like he'll be able to pay them out easily when the time comes. It's like selling IOUs. It's like bonds, right? You're basically promising people huge dividends, and eventually you have to pay it back, right? So it seems like all the payback periods are within the next, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So it keeps working as long as he continues to get funding. He could raise debt by selling shares, or Bitcoin appreciates in price, right? And you could take loans against Bitcoin and do that too. But, next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, let's just say worst case scenario, Bitcoin does not move at all. It stays right where it's at, around 90 to 100,000. And MicroStrategy shares continue to be weak, and he can't sell or offload anymore, and he can't get funding. Well, then that becomes a worst case scenario, because he's no longer able to pay his obligations in terms of those dividends. But, again, there might be more things that he knows that I certainly don't. It's his company. He's the one that knows the most about it. What he's doing now has never been done before, and it can be proven to be the most genius moment for any public trade company on earth. So I don't know. I really don't know. I hope it's the latter. I hope it's not the first scenario. Skipping Stone says, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. That is exactly right. It always seems like that. Things go according to plan until you get pushed down or knocked down. But everyone goes through that in life. It's really about how you pick yourself back up. I mean, honestly. You don't want to be successful your first time around, because then you actually don't learn anything. It's those falls down and pick yourself back up moments that actually make you who you are and make you a better person. Hopefully, if you learn from those experiences. If you don't, and you keep repeating the same mistakes, then you're not going to learn. But if you're learning from those mistakes, then you could be a better person for it. Do you think people at Binance or Coinbase have a good idea when the next big pump will be? No, they don't. They have insiders, obviously. They have people that are working with other people, analysts and stuff like that. Maybe they have some clue. They have the same guesses. You hear Brian Armstrong talk. He talks just like any other analyst out there, right? Obviously a little bit more pro-crypto because he's the head of Coinbase, but everyone's looking at the same things, same charts, looking at the macro environments, Everyone's making educated guesses, but no one truly knows. Cardinham Killigro. Japan is a ticking time bomb. When rates go down and they raise, they will dump treasuries and bonds like mad, taking down every company worldwide. It's amazing people don't know how Japan is the key. That's assuming. I mean, rates have been going up because people are anticipating that they are going to raise, which they may. But why would they dump treasuries? They themselves won't. And I think that some of that dumping is already happening. So I don't know if I completely agree with you, but I do think that they're important. I mean, obviously, not the most important country on the planet, but They're very well connected. DXY is also based on the yen. I guess we'll see. We have gone through this carry trade situation before. We went through it last year. Japan's not just gonna go blow. It's not gonna blow up into like the Stone Ages. Okay. First of all, the world is not gonna allow that. Second of all, they're not stupid. Okay. They may be in a bad situation, but it's not like one thing will cause them to completely blow up to nothing. I'm sure they have some smart people looking at this and thinking about this every single day. Cypherium, it was great meeting you and everyone else. In fact, my team was just telling me we got videos. I know people post their own videos, but I'll have this clip made that I could post on Saturday. Kind of like my Bitcoin conference video, something like that. But it's not a vlog video. But, you know, it'll be more of an insight into the people, the crowd that was in attendance. And it was just a great party overall. It was a really good party overall. Everyone had a good time. I met a lot of people. And everyone's super enthusiastic about ClashPix. And we had a really good demo. Even though that demo did start out bad because we overloaded the system. It was just a beta test. But we showed off what ClashPix is, how easy it is to understand. It'll be the easiest prediction marketplace after it gets released. And we're still building it. This week we should get done with most things and be able to do an open public demo, maybe even next week. So it's getting there. It's really, really close. Seeing some green. See, I told you guys, Coinbase, if you want to know what Wall Street's going to do, just look at what Coinbase is going to do, or what Coinbase is doing, right? Coinbase is starting to go up. That means people are going to start buying Bitcoin. So, generally speaking, just look at what Coinbase stock, how it performs. It's not always the case, but it's a good indicator. Do we get some, okay, no, I didn't see anything. We got some jobs data. I don't see that here. Let's go to Yahoo. I haven't gone to Yahoo Finance in a long time. Where's the jobs at? I don't see it. There's no news about it. Oh, look at this. PNC Bank launches Bitcoin trading with Coinbase for wealthy clients. So again, example of another bank jumping in. You know, why would you not at this point? All the regulations are favorable, pro in America, and if you're going to stay on the sidelines, you're going to be missing out. This is like a revolution. And this all happened within the last 2 years. You think CZ will retake his position at Binance now that he's been pardoned? He's at nearly every conference. I think so. I don't think he ever left. That's the funny thing. Like years ago, or after he got out of jail, he's like, yeah, don't ask me about Binance. I have nothing to do with the day to day. I separated. That's all BS. Everyone knew it. Now he represents Binance once again. Do you even know who the new CEO is? Does he ever talk? Does he ever do press conferences or go to conferences? No, it's CZ. He's always been in charge. I think he's definitely, if he doesn't become CEO, he's just gonna be like the chair, you know, the chairperson or chairman, and still be the one in charge. But you know, if you were Binance, of course that's a smart thing. He's so well known. You gotta listen to the original founder. Yeah, things are turning green. That's good. It's very good. I mean, like we were at 92, 93 yesterday. There was no reason for us to fall. It's just like too many lettuce hands right now, and Wall Street's just too scared. Any little bad news, oh, let's just sell off our Bitcoin. It's like it's really stupid. Let's see the well, we're still like 89%. That didn't really change. It's January's gonna be big. If we see this 25% go upwards, I don't even know why there's this. Like 7.7% chance that we'll go higher. There's gonna be a rate hike. That makes no sense whatsoever. Is Wall Street too scared or just very pro gold right now? Well, that's the same. They're pro gold because they're scared. That's the only reason why Wall Street ever buys gold. It's because they're scared. Gold is like Wall Street stablecoin. Like if they want to cash out, they need to put in something, it's gold. But this cycle has been weird because gold has been going up. It's like stablecoins going upwards. It shouldn't happen, but it is. But that's like Wall Street version of gold. I mean, stablecoins is gold. Who made that crazy limo video on Discord? I actually don't know. I don't know who made it. We had a pretty good limo slash party bus going from our dinner to the Vegas party. Um, Perfect fit too. But I don't know who made it. BTC banks are coming for sure. Okay. Someone says you should start discussing ETH instead of Bitcoin. What is there to discuss with ETH? I do cover it a lot. Mostly just because Tom Lee is leading the way in buying, and they had a hard fork recently. But you know they're still struggling with scaling, which is something that Vitalik is looking at. They want to implement privacy, but obviously Bitcoin is not. I mean, Ethereum is definitely not as widely adopted or embraced as Bitcoin is, which is the main thing here. What's your hangover food? I don't really have a hangover food, but somehow right now, as I've gotten older, I could always eat Chinese food. For whatever reason, good Chinese food I could eat every day. Even my family like can't do that. But like as I've gotten older, before I would just like I get so sick of it. Now I could eat it all day long. And whenever I see pizza, I just want to eat it. It's like the most unhealthy thing, but man, whenever I was shopping at Costco, every time I'm done, I'm like, I want to get a slice of pizza. And every time I'm eating it, I regret it, and it's not as good as it looks. But every time I see a slice of pizza, I want to get it. And you know, somehow now I'm getting sick of steaks. It's like I used to be able to enjoy a good ribeye anytime. Now it's like, oh man, when I see a big ribeye, I'm like, I'm full already. Like I'm starting, and when I start eating it, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. My palate has changed a little bit. I'm actually a little sick of eating steaks. Bully, I appreciate that. But I am getting old. It sucks getting old. It really does. I look way younger in person. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Stop the pizza. Try some Italian meatballs and marinara sauce. I mean, I have no problems with meatballs and marinara sauce, but they ain't pizza. Alan, that was the best. That was actually the best thing at Caesar's buffet was the prime rib. Yeah, dim sum is good, but I mean, I don't know if I could eat dim sum every day. I like spicy stuff now. I like anything like that with chili oil is good. Again, I eat Chinese food all day, every day. Pizza with California crust is delicious on a lighter side. I don't agree with that. I had plenty. In my extreme keto days, I was eating cauliflower rice and cauliflower crust for pizza. It does not taste the same, and it does not taste that good. I even tried made pizza with chicken breast, with canned chicken breast. If you press it out, put some Parmesan cheese, and then bake it first, and then you put the cheese on top, mozzarella, and then you rebake it. Like that's like something you could do. It's even better than cauliflower crust. Basically, mozzarella chicken breast crust with you put an egg in there too. It still doesn't taste the same, but it's like extreme, packed with a lot of protein. Hash brown crust, that's kind of ruins it, all right? I mean, the whole point is to go less carbs, not more carbs. All right, guys, that is it. I'm gonna go play some Clash. Uh, Overall today, gonna be a little volatile because of tomorrow, the FOMC meeting and press conference, obviously. But you know what? Don't fall for the FUD, guys. Like I've been saying every day, it feels like those moments like we had just earlier this year and last year, where it's just like super stale. We're not moving. Seems like nothing ever moves until it does. It always happens that way. You can never predict exact day and when, but we got a lot of charts, a lot of metrics, and growing fundamentals that are on our side. All right? Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, guys. I'll see you guys tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.